please make sure you watch this part of the podcast because there are some visuals during this part that will help you follow along and that are pretty funny as well. Welcome back to Coffee Time with Dave. I'm here with my dad, Alan Hurlbert. Hey, Dad, how are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. How do you like your coffee?
It's great.
Yeah, how do you like to have it usually?
Oh, how do I like to have it? I like my coffee black.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just ever since I was drinking coffee. I had a girlfriend when I was, young.
So we can hear that in the intro, the piano is pumping that chord, right?
Yeah.
And then we can hear the drums come in with that fill.
Right.
And then they start singing, you know?
Yep. Yeah, we can see there that the similarity between the Beatles at that point and ELO with Mr. Blue Sky, one of my favorite songs. But, it's all, I would say it's almost plagiarism. But.
Welcome back to Coffee Time with Dave. I'm here with Mr. Jim Shepley, the man himself. Jim, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Dave. Good to see you.
Awesome. Thank you for being on the show. First, the question I ask everyone is, how do you like to have your coffee, if you drink coffee?
I do drink coffee, and I like it half decaf, half flavored, and a little cream.
Oh wow, that's quite a coffee flavor. How did you get involved with the Allman Brothers?
I actually met Dwayne in a pool hall of all places.
Cool.
I was a couple of years older than him, and he came in, and he's this little kind of short, had a flat top, red hair at the time. Yeah. And we got talking, and he had mentioned they had just moved down from Tennessee to him and his mother and brother.
Cool.
And we actually lived close to each other. So he kind of, in all honesty, kind of latched on to me kind of like as an older brother or something in the beginning.
Yeah.
So we started riding motorcycles, getting into guitars. I had been playing for about 2 years. Yeah. So he was learning a lot of what I was doing.
There you go.
And so I got him going, and he was very appreciative of that. And he, throughout the remainder of his life, he always kindly mentioned that I kind of taught him how to play, and I appreciate him saying that.
Yeah.
He didn't have to, but he did. So that's how that all went.
Yeah.
I could feel you. Oh, if I could be you.
You can listen to all kinds and types of music, whether it's rock, jazz. I don't know that there's many. Well, there's some great jazz singers. There's always been great jazz singers. We were talking about Nat King Cole.
Yes.
And my mother loved Nat King Cole and Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
My sister loves that. Maybe we're dating ourselves, but you're not my age, and so you love those people.
Yep.
And so we can go back in time, and we can be involved with, maybe some rap stuff. I've heard some interesting rap music. You have to be open to music, don't you, David? Don't you think music is a way to really open your eyes and open your awareness? What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a very true statement, saying that it just opens your mind to many, many things. There are so many different types of music, and too many songs, too little time. That's one of the things. You just, whenever you can, take a listen to certain things you haven't listened to before, and especially the lyrics. You got to listen to those. Those are the most important part of the songs, usually, because that's what the writer can connect with you. That's how they can connect with you. So that's what I think about that. Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee Time with Dave. This is Dave himself from behind the sunglasses.
FM radio was really just starting out. And there was no rules, there was no format, there was no commercialism to it. They just played who was ever popular or whoever they wanted to play at the time. Yeah. And so I started hearing bands, and then at that time it was like you didn't even know who the band was, and you had to wait for the guy to announce who it was.
Yep.
And sometimes you didn't catch it. You didn't have Shazam back then where you could just use your phone and get a song title.
Yeah.
So I just listened to music and then just found out who the bands were. And at that time there were like tons of record stores. And we just go out and say, hey, I want to buy this record or that record, and then just took them home and played them to death. Well, there's a guy that I really enjoy listening to. His name is Ryan Adams.
Yep.
And don't be mistaken with the Bryan Adams. I know their names sound exactly the same. He had a self-titled album called Ryan Adams, and it was up for Album of the Year. I forget which year. I should have checked that out. But I really thought that he had the best album of anybody that year.
Awesome.
He didn't win, but the album is pretty solid start to finish. He wrote all the songs, produced it, played all the instruments in his own studio, and it's a pretty great album.
Cool.
Yep.
So would you like us to play the whole album or one of the songs?
Well, I know we don't have time for the whole album, so we'll just go with one song.
Yep.
And the song is Give Me Something Good. It rocks out right from the beginning, and if you're listening to this and you can crank the volume, now is the time to crank the volume.
So how would you describe the music that you play? Because you do a lot of, folk type of music, but it's like Celtic, right?
Yeah.
So how would you describe that?
Mostly traditional Celtic and American folk music too.
So you're very into the folk genre.
Yeah. And
Pretty
I'm
cool.
venturing a little bit into pop and some bluesy type stuff too.
There you go. Awesome.
And a roving, I'll go. And a roving, I'll go. For a pair of brown eyes.
So our format is going to be probably 2 albums per night. It could be an hour and a half. It could be 2 hours.
Yeah.
But we will play the albums in their entirety.
Yes.
So it'll be Tuesday nights. And I appreciate Dave having me again on the show.
Al's Album Hour.